Colonial Sports Center.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Colonial Sports Center. My name is Kevin Plaucha.
And I'm Cam McCariola. And Kevin, the pitch has been so busy so far this week. Let's hop right into it. What happened in Cleveland today?
Yeah, can't waste any time getting right into things. Women's soccer at Cleveland State earlier today, coming off a hard-fought tie against Northern Kentucky, which Cam will discuss in just a minute. The Colonials took on Cleveland State and earlier today on the road, and they were successful, winning 1-0 over the Vikings. Paloma Swankler with the lone goal. Haley Finale with the assist. Brenna Murray tallied 3 saves, and the Colonials able to shut out the Vikings on the road and get a conference win.
Yeah, huge for them, moving to 3-1-2 in conference play, while Cleveland State winless so far this season, 0-11. Well, let's head back to Saturday and see that action-packed game at the North Athletic Complex against the Northern Kentucky Norse, and let's see how the Colonials fared in that match. We start off here. First half opening kickoff on a beautiful Saturday afternoon at the North Athletic Complex. We'll see here the only shot that the Colonials would have in this first half by Madison Hurst. Goes well wide, not much action in that first half. Second half, it gets quick here as the Northern Kentucky Norse kick off the second half, and they roll right down the right side of the field, working their way. It finds its way to Kylie Anderson off screen, but kicks it into the box, and number 6, Lily Yordi, wide open, and the Norse strike just 20 seconds into that second half. So quick, I can't believe she was left wide open.
Yeah, just so quick, able to be left open. The Colonials caught napping coming out of halftime, and the Norse strike first.
Yeah, not a great way to start. Looking a little bit like a familiar game against Dartmouth a few weeks ago. But here, controversy. NKU in disbelief. Megan Molnar not agreeing with the foul call on Paloma Swankler. Argues this one. Take another look. I'm no soccer expert. We may need to get Joey Germasic in to break that one down. But I don't know how it goes, but it's a Colonial free kick, and Jillian Marvin sends it in the box, and they didn't check the back door because Taylor Day snuck her way in for the goal. Tie game with 10 minutes left, just like that Dartmouth game. Not much action going on, but Paloma Swankler scored, but today's Taylor Day, and look at this celebration. Throwing the pitch, home run, grand slam, Francisco Lindor, Phillies eliminated. I digress. Free kick again. We move here, but the Norse handle this pressure with just a minute left. Clear it out of the zone, and now just 10 seconds left. Colonials rushing, throw it in, and then it gets crossed into the crease. You see here just 5 seconds remaining, just out of the reach of the Colonial, and that's how it goes. 1-1 draw at the NAC on that Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, tough, hard-fought draw for the women's soccer team. And we'll switch things over to men's soccer as they took on Purdue Fort Wayne earlier this week. We'll see how the Colonials fared against the Mastodons. Unfortunately, they were unable to take them down as they lost 2-1. Chase Gilley with a goal and Logan Gilley with an assist. We see them in the box score all the time, but it was not enough. Aiden Antcliffe with a goal, as well as Juan Romero. And the Colonials just with 2 shots on goal, but Seb Habibi only allows 1, and the Colonials fall 2-1.
Yeah, tough game for the Colonials. We'll see that Chase Gilley goal maybe later, maybe a top 5 play, but that was a battle for first place in the Horizon League as Purdue Fort Wayne now takes over where the Colonials were standing at number 1 atop the Horizon League standings. Well, up next is a breakdown mid-season form for Robert Morris football. They just had their bye week. Let's see what's gone on this season. Michael Deemer will tell you more about it.
Robert Morris' football team the last couple of years haven't been on the right side of history.
That will do it. The RMU Colonials will fall to 0-11 on the year.
However, going into 2024, they're now in a new conference, and they came into the year with a new level of excitement to a program that hasn't been seen in a while. There were a lot of notable returners, including quarterback Anthony Chickett, leading receiver Noah Robinson, Tislam Muhammad and Jamar Shahab on the defensive end, and also a newcomer in Tyvin Edmonds Jr., who was the conference's leading rusher at Merrimack. With that in mind, there was palpable energy coming from Moon Township, and they could be heard in the first half of the opening game against the Aggies of Utah State.
First down, Barnes. Barnes wants to go deep. And good coverage.
Whoa!
Are you
kidding me?
Holy smokes. That Carter, he one-handed that.
Rob Carter Jr. pulled off one of the most impressive interceptions you may see, showing America what this program can really accomplish. Despite the loss, this play gave the Colonials fanbase a breath of fresh air and possibility of turning a new chapter that once was. However, this was short-lived, as just a week later in the home opener, the Colonials fell to Division II Edinburgh to start the season 0-2.
Edinburgh wins. Edinburgh wins. A huge upset victory for the Fighting Scots.
Were these going to be the same old Colonials, or will they rebound against future conference opponent in Mercyhurst the next week? The switch was immediately flipped. In that game against Mercyhurst, Anthony Chickett went on a career day, having his career high in yards and touchdowns against the Lakers. Robinson had 116 yards receiving, and Tyvon Edmonds had over 100 yards on the ground in a blowout 55-28 win. The next week they would face Wagner on the road, and they would also defeat them, pushing them to 2-2 on the year. A tough test against EKU in Richmond, Kentucky would push them into the bye week to think about that game and their season so far as a whole. Following their bye week, we'll now look at their next 4 games. The Colonials' last non-conference opponent is against Delaware State this Saturday at 3. It's homecoming, so the alumni will be in town, and you know there'll be a large crowd at Joe Walton Stadium. Delaware State have had some struggles of their own, starting all the way back in week 0, as there was a travel snafu on their way to Hawaii, and have snowballed into a 1-5 start, including a loss to aforementioned Wagner by 23 points. The Colonials also lost to Delaware State in their 2022 winless season, so they are also looking for revenge. The following week is October 19th and is at home against the winless LIU. October 26th is a rematch of last year's opener to St. Francis at home. The Red Flash from Loretto remember that game fondly, as they were the opponent that snapped the Colonials' winless streak. November 2nd is at home against Tyvon Edmonds' former team in Merrimack. You know he has that game circled on his calendar since he's transferred to RMU. Edmonds rushed for over 2,000 yards as a Warrior in his 3 years in Merrimack. And then November 9th is the big one, against Duquesne. Pittsburgh will be buzzing as the rivalry will be renewed for the first time since 2019. RMU defeated the Dukes in 2019, 41-21. With anticipation comes expectations, so it'll be very interesting to see how Bernard Clark's team handles the new era Colonials. Reporting for Colonial Sports Center, I'm Michael Deemer.
Thank you, Michael, for that in-depth look at the football season so far. Certainly some big games left, including rival Duquesne. Well, when we come back, and Cam, I know we were talking about how hot it was in the studio last time, but it's a little bit cooler because hockey is back. We've got women's hockey and a men's hockey roundtable next on CSC.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys. You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one?
I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. As I mentioned before the break, we've got a lot of hockey to get into. First with women's hockey, who took on Bemidji State in a 2-game set. We've got highlights from both games right now as to see how the Colonials fared against Bemidji State. With Morgan Smith with the shot, and it's saved by RMU's Maggie Hatch. More about her later. Scramble in front of the net. No one really seems to know where it is, but it is saved, maybe multiple times by Hatch. Now RMU going up the ice, and it's Jersey Phillips ahead to Maya Nugent, who gets through 2 defenders, and she scores. The senior forward who played 3 seasons for the Beavers scores on her former team.
Yeah, what an unbelievable shot right there, Kevin, and a sick celebration. The cap it on top. Look at the speed of that shot. Just a perfect snapshot.
It was the speed of the shot and the speed that Nugent was able to show to get around the 2 defenders. RMU on the power play now. Janelle Evans, she scores, padding that RMU lead here in game 1 with just over a minute left in the second period. We talked about Janelle Evans before on this show and how she was going to be a key piece for this women's hockey team, and there she is.
Yeah, great start to the season, getting on the board early, rising that confidence, and talk about the team performance here. A shutout by Maggie Hatch.
Yeah, you see the final seconds tick off. Colonials win 2-0 in game 1. Maggie Hatch with the shutout.
Yeah, 46 saves, stellar performance. We move on to game 2, Saturday afternoon again. And look at this, short-handed. Haley Armstrong makes a turn, and Callie Arnold buries the puck because the goalie misplayed it. Take a look, everyone just puck watching. Where are the Beavers going? Callie Arnold's puck and goal. Easy pickings for the Colonials to start. And the theme of this weekend, last minute goals, as you'll see Shane Desjardins with her first collegiate goal, shoots it, bounces off a defender, past the goalie. They don't ask how, they ask how many, and she's starting it off right. Now we move on. Another point shot in the second period finds its way in as Morgan Giannoni with the deflection and the celebration. That's how you know it was her goal. She came out there super excited, but the Beavers claw back as Riley Reeves scores for the Beavers, being the first one to solve the puzzle that is Maggie Hatch. And it wouldn't stop there. Another last minute goal, just 20 seconds remaining, and Isa Gettle with the goal for the Beavers, sending them into that second intermission just down 1. That's a momentum swing. Now on the power play in the third period, Alyssa Watkins gets the deflection goal. Tie game with 8 minutes remaining. The Beavers are all the way back. Tied at 3, we're going to extras, and in extra time, Morgan Giannoni with the spin cycle in the corner. Who does she find? Talia D'Elia driving the net wide open in front for the goal. Colonials sweep the weekend over the Bemidji State Beavers, who last year beat them in the battle at the Berg in overtime. And what a play by Talia D'Elia. She is a notable difference on the ice, and talk about the awards she's racking in. Back-to-back Defensive Player of the Week awards. KP, let's break it down.
Yeah, Colonials doubling up with the AHA Weekly Awards. First, Maggie Hatch, 2-0-0 this week. 73 total saves, a big-time save percentage. Cam, you briefly mentioned it. A 46-save shutout on Friday, second in her career. And Talia D'Elia, that game-winning OT goal that you just saw, that in her second consecutive Defensive Player of the Week. Some very nice performances from the Colonials as the women's hockey season is just getting started.
Yeah, Maggie Hatch just 4 saves away from a career high in that first game, or in the shutout. And then Talia D'Elia has just been a noticeable difference maker in her second season as a Colonial. And then we're going to bounce back to Maggie Hatch. Goalie factory RMU is. You got people like Reagan Kirk, Brianna McLaughlin, Jessica Dodds, Kristen DeCoco, and Maggie Hatch is coming for those records.
Yeah, add her to the list. And Cam, even more about women's hockey, they received votes. They received 2 votes in the polls, first time since the final 2021 poll.
Yeah, when they made that tournament, the NCAA tournament, and got bounced in the first round, but here they are. They're clawing their way back, and it's good to see them getting some early recognition. Nobody's going to take them lightly, and if you look there at number 3, you'll see Clarkson, who the team is taking on this weekend. See if they get an upset in New York, you'll see them skyrocketing up that list. Not just receiving 2 votes, many votes.
Oh yeah, many more votes, and you'll see them maybe in that top 15 if they're able to pull off that upset. Well, Cam, we're going to switch gears over to men's hockey because their season hasn't quite gotten underway. They still have a couple exhibitions before their regular season gets started, but they have named the captains for this upcoming season. We'll start with Cameron Garvey. Last season, he had 11 goals, which was tied for second on the team, total of 14 points. You also have Mitch Dielstra, who has had a very nice career. Spent 2 different schools, 2020 to 2023 with Ferris State, and then last season 23 and 24 at Northern Michigan. 19 goals at a total of 39 points in his career, making his Colonial debut. And then Michael Craig with 10 assists and 39 blocks, big defensive presence that was 4th on the team last season.
Yeah, last year you saw a big captain's room for the Colonials. This year they're cutting it down to 3, and it's 3 phenomenal players coming in, and let's see if the smaller room works out for them. And that exhibition game, last I heard, they were down 2-1 to Bowling Green.
And now for more on men's hockey, we've got a special roundtable. Bethany Naughton is joined by Joey Germasic and Gracie Clark. Bethany, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm here with Joey Germasic and Gracie Clark. How are you both today?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
That's good. So first question, what are some improvements the men's hockey team will make this year that they lacked last year, Joey?
You know, I'm going to start off with their offense. You know, they need more shots. Last year they had just above 27.5 shots per game. They need to, increase that number. And I've also said it on some of the soccer broadcasts that I've been on this year, that they need that more chances equals more goals. They need more shots. More shots they get equal more goals, and also just some attention to detail on defense. Last year their opponents shot almost 40 shots a game. They need to cut that down to the high 20s, low 30s.
I agree with the shots. 8 out of 39 of their games, they outshot the opponent. So 31 of the games, their opponents outshot them. So I think they definitely need to turn that around. And I think just simple things like better face-offs and maybe less penalties they need to focus on.
Head coach Derek Schooley said that they wanted not to get last again. They are projected to get last in the preseason poll. Do you believe in him, Gracie?
I think it's very possible that they can do better than they did last year. They have a lot of additions that I think can help them out. And last year in the standings, they were only 3 points away from the team above them. So I think the future looks bright for them.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the same thing. I think I do believe him. You know, as a coach, you want to have that mindset. You don't want to come into a season with low expectations. You want to hold your team to the highest expectations. You know, last year the last time they ended pretty low was in 2019, 2020. They ended 8th. Year after, they ended up in 3rd. So hopefully a bounce back type of year for them. And how is Coach Schooley gonna blend the inexperienced players with the experience, kind of create some good chemistry? But I think they'll have a good season this year.
And who is your player to watch for the team?
My player is Tanner Kimke. He last year had 26 points, 15 of them goals, 11 of them being assists. I think as him being a freshman, I think this year is really going to show how his leadership skills have increased, and also, kind of how his skills also increase as a player himself.
And my player to watch is Cam Garvey, which we already talked about. He was named captain, and he's a sophomore. And we talked about his stats: 11 goals, 3 assists, and 14 points. And 3 of those goals were game-winning goals, which is the most on the team. He had 60 shots, and his shot percentage was .183, which was the 2nd best on the team. And some of his highlights were his hat trick at Mercyhurst on February 2nd and his overtime winning goal at Bentley, which was exactly a month later in the AHA opening round of playoffs.
And then finally, what is your game to watch?
My game to watch, I'm excited to see the exhibition game versus the U.S. national U18 team, just because of the status that team holds, and they potentially house many future NHL players, so I think it'll be exciting to see that. And also the home opener, and then some conference games versus RIT and Mercyhurst.
Yeah, my games are going to be the Sacred Heart games, November 15th and 16th. Last year they were 3rd. This year they're favored to win, so kind of shows what type of team that RMU has this year. How could they play against the big dogs this year? And they need to be able to take their shots, be aggressive on the attacking side of it, and then just showing them if they can hang with them, the growth of this team, and possibly what the season could hold for them.
Sounds exciting. Well, thank you both for joining me. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the cross-country meet. Stay tuned on Colonial Sports Network.
Whoopsies. Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
Wait, not in the toilet.
No, don't do that. No.
Don't hit your brother. Ooh.
Not again.
What did I tell you about playing in the mud?
Raffy, not so close to the pool. Wait! Frankie, happy. What are you doing? We told you never to touch the gun! I'm sorry, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. You could have hurt yourself!
Safely store your guns. Unload, lock, and away from ammo.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. We're going to jump right into some other sports. Cross country was live at the Lou Classic this past weekend, and I've got coverage of the men's team to see how they did. They finished 9th out of 30 teams overall. The men's 8K, Colton Morris was 19th, Brian Paris 47th, and Tyler Pazakowski 49th. 3 Colonials in the top 50.
Yeah, let's take a look at the women's side as they finished 12th out of 27 teams with 2 top 30 finishes. The team finished with 394 points, just 43 shy of the 10th place Duquesne team. So they were real close to making that top 10.
And now we're on to rowing camp. Rowing was in action at the Head of Ohio this past weekend.
Yeah, let's take a look at what happened in the 4+ rowing. And they finished 18th out of 22 with a time of 18 minutes, 15 seconds, and .291. Those milliseconds matter, Kevin.
They do, and in the 8+, a much better showing. 2nd out of 11, time of 14:40, just a second behind Duquesne. Cam, I know you had a quote.
Yeah, Coach Robert Weber was very proud of his team as he said, quote, "The 8 had a real breakout performance and they should be very proud of themselves and how they raced. It's even more impressive given that the fact that there were 5 freshmen on the boat." So really impressive to come second with 5 freshmen on that boat for the Colonials, and a great outing by the 8+ team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Cam, when we come back, we've got a special announcement as well as top plays and games to watch.
Colonial Sports Center. That's CHC. Women's basketball.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something I can count on to be free.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Kevin, you 2 years ago hosted this event. I last year hosted this event, and this year we get to do it together. Woo. October 23rd, we got ourselves some madness happening at the UPMC Event Center at 6:15 Wednesday, October 23rd. We get to see the men's and women's basketball team, get hype about them, and the crowd gets involved with three-point contests and dunk contests and you get to hear from the players themselves with some up-close interviews. Kevin.
Yeah, it's a really great event. Just a lot of production value put into it, and I think it's a must-attend. And we're going to have that live coverage. It's always a lot of fun. I remember 2 years ago hosting it was a blast, and now, Cam, you and I get to do it together. So that's Wednesday, October 23rd.
You know what we always do together? Top 5 plays, and it is starting right now. Kevin, take it away.
I'd hope it's starting right now, and I hope that this starts at number 5 because that's the first one. We're going to start with women's soccer. As Jillian Marvin, lot of green there, but it's going to find Taylor Day, who scores. The defenders all really in nowheresville as the ball is able to get to Day, and she scores, tying it up.
Yep, and now number 4, we got the men's soccer team taking on Purdue Fort Wayne, and you'll see a bomb from Logan Gilly downtown, and who is it? Chase Gilly, banging on the rebound, puts it in. 1-0 Colonials in this one. They would falter 2-1, but what an amazing play this was. You'll see it get sent in, bounced around, and then find its way out. And just what a rocket of a shot and a good, perfect rebound. And, you know, Joey broke it down a few weeks ago, getting in those dirty areas.
Yeah, that was right place, right time. Number 3, women's hockey. It's Janelle Evans on the power play down the right side, and she shoots it right past the Bemidji State goalie for the goal, extending that lead to 2-0. We saw that shot earlier, but definitely worth a spot on the top 5.
Yeah, goalie moving over to the right, just like my director is telling me to do right now, but an amazing shot by Janelle Evans. Now we go to number 2 and split in the D, and a Bethany whoopsies goes Maya Nugent as she snipes home the opening goal of the series against Bemidji State. Yeah, and what a shot, but I think the Selly alone should be number 2 play. But
great
what
speed.
A game that was.
Great speed, great shot, great Selly, as you're going to see it right there. Maya Nugent with the goal. Number 1 play, we saw it earlier. Talia Dalia in overtime, 2.5 minutes left, and she scores. Colonials are going to go home happy as they finish that sweep of Bemidji State, and they win it in overtime, 4-3.
She has just been an unbelievable player so far this year. So noticeable on the ice. As like a basic fan, you see how far above she has been since last year. And it's a team that you just can't take your eyes off and watch, and that's why they are my games to watch this weekend as they take on the number 3 Clarkson Golden Knights, a rematch from last year, and you'll see them in action in Potsdam, New York. And my players to watch, Maggie Hatch, starting this year unbelievably. She was a huge difference maker in the second game of last year's matchup. 34 saves on their 2-1 loss. Didn't start that opening game, but watch out for Ann Cherkowski. 2 goals and assists in last year's games, and she's the number 12 PWHL prospect. So a threat on the ice you need to look out for.
Absolutely. We'll see if Hash can pick up another award. My game to watch, it's homecoming weekend, Cam. RMU football, you heard about him earlier, versus Delaware State, trying to get back on the winning track. Noah Robinson, 25 receptions for 392 yards. I believe he had 9 receptions for 89 and a touchdown last season. He's very good. Jaden Sutton, the leading back for Delaware State, 84 attempts, 553 rushing yards, averaging 6.6 yards per carry, and he has 5 touchdowns. We'll see if he can't recreate a little bit of Ashton Genty and run all over the Colonials, who will hopefully stop their leading rusher.
Yeah, it's a great game and a great weekend. Homecoming weekend, that energy needs to be brought by the Colonial fans. And just because it's a lower opponent doesn't mean that they're not a threat. We saw that
with Edinburgh.
We saw that.
Yep, we
and
sure
so
did.
We'll hope that they can pull out this game and send the people home happy after a night out of dancing the night before.
That's right. And another player that didn't get mentioned, Tyvon Edmonds. His first step is lethal whenever he's able to jump cut, and especially whenever he gets into the open field. You can forget about it. He might be the NEC's version of Ashton Genty whenever he's able to get in open space. So RMU football looking to bounce back this weekend at home.
Yeah, it's just great opportunities. As you said, Ashton Genty is a great player, and Tyvon Edmonds is holding down the fort for the Colonials.
Well, that's going to do it here for this edition of Colonial Sports Center. My name is Kevin Ploucher.
And I'm Cam Macariola.
For everyone upstairs and downstairs, for our entire crew, we will see you next week.